Greetings YouTube, this is your resident Land Cruiser nut. This video is going to be a little bit different today as my truck is in the process of being painted. After that it will be shipped to my new location in Germany. It has got me thinking, who has owned a Land Cruiser that has been on 3 continents? Anyway, today's video is more about why I bought my Land Cruiser, specifically the FJ80, and then the cost of building it into an overlander. I believe everyone has a reason why they buy a certain vehicle, whether it be a Jeep, GM, or Ford product. For me, I had always had an affinity with older Toyota trucks that was passed on from my father. And on one occasion, I had the opportunity to attend an off-road driving course, and there I had a chance to drive an 80 series Land Cruiser. I absolutely fell in love with that truck while driving it. At the time, I did not fully understand the differences between the model years of 90 and 97, the engine change, and the differential lockers that you could get and other packages. I just like the styling and simplicity of the vehicle. A short time after, I made a decision to start looking around trying to buy one. Like most people, when you start searching for FJ80s, FCJ80s, you immediately find out about Jonathan Ward and the amazing trucks he builds for the 1%. For those like me who don't have that kind of cash laying around, I needed to start with something much more affordable, and so I started looking on Facebook Marketplace. And then one day I come across exactly what I was looking for: a completely unmolested original 1992 FJ80. I remember it was a few days before I could go look at the truck. During that time I was looking at videos by Otram and few other YouTubers in regards to pre-inspections on 80 series Land Cruisers. When I was searching for an 80 series to buy, it was hard to find trucks that had not already been modified or driven hard, and the 93 to 97 models were just expensive. That's why when I viewed this truck on Marketplace, I was intrigued. The photos you're seeing right now are the ones I was viewing on Marketplace prior to purchasing it. As you can see, it was very clean. The interior was in good condition, the dash was not cracked, and the owner said that he had replaced the water pump, radiator, and performed a full service on the truck recently. He also mentioned that the truck needed nothing. The Carfax revealed it was a truck that had been in North Carolina all of its life, so I wasn't too concerned about rust from a truck that maybe came from the Northeast or Florida. Now, based off experience and conversations with my father, who has a 1994 Toyota pickup, it's hard to believe that any 25, 26, or 27-year-old vehicle needs nothing, so I went into this with an open mind and also aware that I was buying the least desirable year of the model. So the day comes and I go and take a look at the vehicle. Like I thought I would find, there were some issues the vehicle had. The exhaust was completely shot from the manifold back to include the 2 converters. There were oil leaks from every part of the engine that you can imagine: the valve cover gaskets, the push rod cover, the oil pan, and the rear main seal. The back 2 windows did not work, and there were typical dings and dents from 25 years of driving. Other than that, everything worked perfect, to include the cruise control, and even the AC blew very cold. The majority of everything that was wrong with the vehicle in my mind was all due to overdue maintenance. I ended up settling on a price of $5,500. I get the vehicle home and immediately begin getting it to baseline. I wanted to check off all of the maintenance items before any off-road modifications were made. If you're buying any of the 80 series, there is going to be some unknowns. The goal is always to change those unknowns to knowns. There was a lot of overdue maintenance, so I began by changing all the fluids: the brake, the coolant, oil, and transmission. All of the belts were changed and all of the gaskets. Most of the maintenance I was able to handle on my own, except for the exhaust and the rear main seal. As far as expense, those two things were the bulk of the maintenance cost. There were some other little things like brakes on all 4 corners and a new power steering pump. My total cost for maintenance ended up being $3,335. So my $5,500 Land Cruiser suddenly became a $9,000 Land Cruiser within a month. Now on to the build. One of the things I want to get out of the way is that you don't have to buy everything I did to enjoy the outdoors. For the most part, any stock 4-wheel drive vehicle can get you to a lot of great places. My vehicle was purpose-built for being on the continent of Africa. There are a lot of times here that I am alone, and the only recovery option is frankly myself. The other things is I don't buy cheap items to put on my truck. I want things that have been tested and proven. For example, there are many types of front bumpers for an 80 series. I am currently running an ARB bull bar, and I know that it's proved itself over the years in terms of durability, and it's been tested and tested and tested again. If I'm going to buy something, I only want to buy it once. Also, don't be afraid to build something yourself. There's a famous quote that mentions you're never too old to learn. If you have friends, try and get them to assist. I can tell you that I have a great friend that helped me with a lot of things on this truck, and I paid him mostly in beer and conversation. Like most people, the first thing I did was a lift, wheels, and tires. The lift is an old man emu lift that was $1,139. The tires are BFG KO2s, 285 7017. 5 of them was $1,325. The FJ Cruiser wheels that I have on my truck were $1,207. Next, I installed the ARB Deluxe Bull Bar for $954. I found an ARB single air compressor for $250 and a Warren 8,000 pound winch for $750. The winch and the compressor I found on Facebook Marketplace. That's one thing I want to mention. If you're buying something like a winch or compressor that's used, be sure you have a way to test it before you buy it. Lucky for me, I met honest sellers. Moving on, I purchased white knuckle sliders for $1,091, a National Luna dual battery setup for $350, a 1,000-watt inverter for $350. I have $200 into a spare tire carrier, which I built. There's a video on YouTube outlining that process. I have $400 into a drawer system that I built. Again, there is a YouTube video on that. Then it was the ARB recovery kit was $420, and Trex recovery boards were $229. Total $8,665. So you can see how these things slowly start to add up. Lucky for me, I am single and not bound to anything other than income. All kidding aside, there are a few more things I want to mention. First, pay attention to the weight. The GV, WR, and payload capacity are important. If you're going to add this much weight, the suspension is going to have to be upgraded to handle increased load. Second, electrical. We have all seen pictures or heard about the dangers of not wiring up your accessories correctly. If you're not comfortable, just pay the extra money to have a shop do it. Last thing is, here's a photo of my truck once it was all done. And then also, here is a photo of the truck now as it sits. As you can see, there's quite a bit of a change. I'm going to do another video when I get the truck back from paint and get it back into my new country, Germany. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please continue to monitor my channel and like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.